Hi everyone, I'm JB. I'm going to be talking about this from more of a nerd than a degenerate POV, which means if you're a degenerate, you probably made more money than me this cycle. And specifically, I have a machine learning background where I went to grad school for machine learning and got into crypto, mining Ethereum to pay for my deep learning rig. And so this cycle as a founder, trying to figure out like what's hype in AI, what's hype in AI crypto, I thought it could be useful to kind of walk through where I think things are going and how I'm placing bets as a founder. And so I'm going to start with a leak from OpenAI from 2024 around how they're thinking about the path to artificial superintelligence, which is intelligence that's smarter than humans. I think after seeing my timeline the last 2 weeks, where all these like centralized companies are really incentivized to overhype what they're doing because they need so much capital for training, I've been really trying to ground myself in like what's actually real. So as far as the steps, when this was published in 2024, they said they were close to reasoners, which I think was true. I think O1 is actually a reasoner. And then I do think we have agents. As far as innovators, I think if you got to play with like DeepSeek and the kind of viewable chain of thought, like it does seem like we're getting to potentially innovation, but it might just be reasoning. And I think what kind of set me down this path, like, are decentralized, like, agentic organizations happening is that they also have this vision around, like, the end step of ASI is that it's going to be full companies of agents. And I don't know if you remember this post, but 10 years earlier, oh, that's really blurry. But Vitalik wrote a blog post for Ethereum on DAOs, but also AI in the center and the edges, where DAOs are humans at the edges and AI at the center. And so a thing I've been thinking about a lot this week with like DeepSeek coming out and Stargate, where OpenAI is trying to build like a $500 billion centralized compute center, is like, will all the agents like live in a compute center somewhere, like all the top ones, and just be controlled by these like 2 companies, or will they stay online with us and like play in our crypto Legos with us? And I ultimately, both because it's what I'm passionate about, but because I believe it, am betting on decentralized agentic organizations and not just centralized. And so I'm working on an agent specifically around allocating capital to builders to start, in part because Tom has this path to crypto AI that I think is the most predictive around kind of the steps we're going to take. And I think we've already hit endorses tokens, trade tokens, create tokens, but we haven't seen AI build and operate protocols yet. And then I do believe once AI can build and operate protocols, they can control and sustain centralized economies next. And so we're building a AI allocator for a few ecosystems to builders to help manage their builders. In first part, because we were sitting on a bunch of data, because we had an insight early that like as soon as AI could read and understand code and Farcaster data and Twitter data, these agents are able to map social graphs, skill graphs, all these things already. And so we were sitting on that. We were sitting on a decentralized like social app we're building. And as soon as we started pitching specifically like helping protocols and ecosystems handle these builder relationships and teams, they got really excited because that's like a huge pain point for them. And kind of the history of open source, like coordinating builders, you end up getting a ton of noise. Like you get a bunch of people who want to contribute but can't really contribute. And having agents help with that means we're going to be able to build and operate protocols and hopefully control and sustain this decentralized economy? Yes. And so at this point, going back to like where I think AI is, do I trust an agent to run an economy yet? Yeah, I don't. And so we're going to take more of what the traditional DAO approach was, but I think kind of the word DAO is kind of muddied by the fact we put smart contracts in the middle and then had people argue over them. And that's what we think DAOs are. But we can actually put agents now in the center and humans on the edges. And so this is a augmented LLM that kind of shows a mental model of how to think of agents, where they can retrieve data. So they're retrieving our reputation data and graphs, and we're also like looking for other data that could be valuable to use. And then tools, in this case, we're also tagging in humans on the edges as tools, and then they have a memory. So specifically, what we're doing is we have an LLM where builders are asking for capital, and it's able to take them through that process, but it also has a network of like who the experts are in that ecosystem to tag in when it's unsure of something. And they're getting points for now for helping the agent and steering it. And the goal is to kind of create an ecosystem context of these decentralized organizations, because most organizations are kind of built on secrets and insights and these human-to-human things, and that data isn't for free online. And then on the retrieval side, right now we're ingesting our own kind of internal data from like GitHub attribution graphs and Farcaster, but we're looking for folks to kind of partner with on their data as well. I think that's it, but let me see, where's my phone? If you go to Warpcast and you want to play with it, it's up at Polybrain. If you want to start filling out a grants app and try and break it, that would be appreciated. And yeah, I'm open to questions.